Clearly, things have taken a horrific turn. It does seem as though Nancy Pelosi is closing the door to any wall funding as part of any agreement. And I wonder, since there is some history for big comprehensive immigration reform, which included some wall funding or at least border security funding, why she didn't just take that opportunity to say we would be willing to talk about anything if there were a big immigration reform package, but right now we're focused on opening the government.
I mean, I think this goes back to trust, and because both sides don't trust each other. There is no trust between any side of the different factions. And I'll tell you, being on the Hill today, they are dug in on either side. While the president's speech wasn't exactly a resounding success, it did rally, particularly House Republicans, where you had a lot of members waving, and some may still vote with Democrats. But talking to them coming out of that meeting today, they were ready. They were ready to, hunker down and for the shutdown to continue until they get what they want. I
want you to take a listen to House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy just now speaking about how the meeting went.
And the way they have displayed and their behavior is embarrassing to me. I tell the Democrats, get back into the room. Let's not leave. Let's solve this problem. Just as the president said, it doesn't even take 45 minutes. We're here and we want to work.
Bill Kristol, your response?
Yeah, I don't think we should necessarily take for granted that President Trump or the others are being entirely honest in characterizing exactly what was said, because I think your point is right. Look, there's an appropriations process. There will be a Homeland Security bill. There will be amendments in order in committee and probably on the floor, and they will get to vote on whether they want to have $5.7 billion for the wall or $1.6 billion or zero. Maybe Speaker Pelosi could have made that clearer to President Trump. He doesn't know a lot about how Congress works, but the Republicans do control the Senate. They can pass the 5.6 and send it over to the House. And so, I mean, the idea that he's not going to have a chance to make his case for his wall is ridiculous. And incidentally, he's had a chance to make his case for that for the last 2 years. And they could have even tried to pass it on reconciliation, which only requires 50 votes, 51 votes, 50 plus the vice president. And they controlled, of course, the Senate. They could have done that, but they chose to go with tax reform and Obamacare on reconciliation. So the idea that he doesn't have a chance, that Republicans don't have a chance to get a vote on the wall or make a case for the wall unless the president shuts down a third of the government is simply false.
Well, it's also false, as you note. Noah Rothman, the conservative commentator, did a long tweet about this. It's false that Republicans are unified around the wall. I mean, maybe they are right now, this minute, but there have been 2 years in which Republicans have been all over the map about the wall. And in fact, a lot of border state Republicans do not support the wall.
A lot of border state Republicans don't support the wall because they realize what it's going to mean in terms of things like eminent domain. There are stories after stories of ranchers whose lands would be taken away, who would lose their livelihood, who would not have access to things like the river that they need in order to be able to ranch. I mean, talk to people like John Cornyn about this. But also, Republicans are not unified around this. We know that just in the U.S. Senate, there are at least 3 Republicans who have now publicly come out, Murkowski, Collins, and Gardner, and said we are ready to vote on reopening up the government. So there is no such unison in the Republican Party. And I think it's up to Republicans. Donald Trump doesn't care what Democrats says. And he says this is not political. Yes, it is political. It is so political that yesterday, hours before an address to Trump Nation, he sent out a political fundraising request based on that address. Republicans have got to demand that the president of the United States not act like a 72-year-old man baby having tantrums in the Situation Room or Oval Office and come to the table and negotiate.
And Paul, speaking of President Trump saying that the Republicans are totally unified and, quote, there was no discussion about anything other than solidarity, which is what he said today. Take a listen to Republican Senator Susan Collins.
Did any members raise any concerns?
Thank you, guys.
There was a vigorous discussion.
Thanks so much. Did you raise any concerns?
Sorry, really for me.
Susan Collins saying that she did raise some concerns that she has, and we know that she wants to vote on opening the government a clean bill, and she is one of 3 Senate Republicans that have called for that, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Cory Gardner of Colorado, and Senator Collins.
Right, and that's the beginning, not the end, I think, of Republicans splitting off from the president. The wall's not terribly popular. The president says he wants a wall. By the way, I think he just got one. I think Nancy Pelosi is the wall. She told him no. Now, this is a man baby, as Anna says, who at age 3, according to the New York Times, his father was giving him $200,000 a year in today's money. At age 3, he was a millionaire. He was a rich man, a rich baby. And he's still a rich baby. But he's never before, I think, had someone look him in the eye, someone with equal power, look him in the eye and say, no. Nancy Pelosi raised 5 children. Believe me, she knows how to say no.
So President Trump today saying he didn't want this fight at all. Take a listen.
We really have to think about the people of our country. This is not a fight I wanted. I didn't want this fight.
Okay. Now, of course, we know that the Senate, controlled by Republicans, voted for a clean bill, which funded the government and did not include border wall funding. And President Trump said, no, he's not going to sign it. And then this happened last month.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck, because the people of this country don't want criminals and people that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our country.
So I think it's clear, just on a factual basis, he does want this fight. He wants the politics of it. He wants the rallying of Republicans and rallying the base. He wants the changing of the subject from the fact that Paul Manafort shared campaign data with somebody with ties to Russian military intelligence. He does want it.
Absolutely. This is what he thinks this is politically good for him. And he even said in an aside at one of those press conferences that this is really politically bad for Democrats. What is he going to run on in 2020 if he doesn't have the wall to pound on, to say, you know, is it finish the wall? This really, he has seen this. This helped him get elected, and he sees this as a hill to die on.
This is nuts. It helped him in the primaries. There's a lot of data on this. The wall did not help him in the general election. It did not help Republicans in 2018. It is not going to. It's not helping him as we speak.
About 60%
His
of
numbers have
Republican
slid.
opposes it,
His
yeah.
numbers have slid a little bit over the last week. They're now at the lowest they've been since September. So, I mean, he can tell himself, I suppose, that my base is so idiotic that they think that this shutting down a third of the government over
He's
a
saying that
$5
people.
billion
He has convinced himself also that people who are not getting paid right now are saying that's okay, Mr. President.
Do you think he's convinced himself?
You
or do
keep on
think,
keeping on. That is not happening in terms of the people
I
I've
feel it's more
spoken
like
to.
desperation and that he knows he's losing and he doesn't know what to do.
I actually think Jackie's right. I think he does convince him. I mean, I think he convinced himself. He has had conversations with past presidents who have told him they want a wall. I mean, obviously he is conversing with the paintings on the walls and things that are answering back.
But also, Brad Parscale, his campaign manager for 2020, put out a tweet today saying the president have never been higher. I'm data-driven. I know what I'm talking about. Forget anything else that you're seeing in the fake news media. This is real.
He's made a decision, as presidents who get pasted in their first term, midterm, have to make. The decision between deepening and broadening. A sensible politician would say, I want to broaden. I have my base. And I've never seen a politician stronger with his base than Donald Trump is with his.
He literally could do anything.
He could. As he said, he could shoot him. He could shoot somebody.
No, but he
Fifth
could
Avenue.
sign immigration reform.
Yes, if he was any deeper with his base, he'd come out in China. You know, but he should be broadening. This is what President Clinton did, President Obama did. This is what President Reagan did. And he's not. I think it's because of Mueller. I don't think he's a stupid man. I don't think he's a bad politician. I think this is about deepening his passionate commitment among a minority of Americans so